So I want to bring awareness to something. And a lot of y'all not finna like it, but it's the truth. We are at war. And I don't mean a physical war, but a spiritual war. The devil has been attacking every single one of us with every sin he can. Lust, envy, pride, anger. He has been attacking all of us. Nobody is safe. And I hate to say it, but we have been following his ways. We have been allowing him to let us drift. We have been slacking on becoming closer to God to not even let him get the chance. And I don't say this to shame nobody because I'm going through the same things. But we gotta get closer to God, y'all. We got to. Last night, I seen something so heartbreaking, but it opened my eyes. I sat in front of over 10 drunk people. And I just said, what if we was able to gather like this in a Bible study? What if we was able to gather like this to talk about God? What if we was able to gather together and just talk about something that doesn't involve the devil? You get what I'm saying? It was so heartbreaking, but it opened my eyes, and it just led me to the point of conviction and discernment to even make this video. We have to get closer to him, or we'll end up like everybody else. I don't want to be in a cycle of continuous lusting and continuous pride, and I don't want to be in a cycle of continuous sin. Yeah, we gonna always sin, you know, we humans, but I want to know and always be aware that Jesus died for my sins, and that is why I trust in him. I always want to remember that having faith in Jesus is the pinnacle of life. I always want to remember that. I don't never want to forget that. And we start to forget that when the devil puts us in a position of drift into his ways. You will go back to something that you said you was done with. And you want to know why? That's because you was vulnerable to the devil, to his ways. And the only reason you was vulnerable, it was because you slacked apart in getting closer to God. And once you slack apart in getting closer to God, the devil sees that as an opportunity and says, I got him. I got her. He gonna always be trying to attack y'all. It's like a door. He gonna keep knocking on that door, and it's like you ain't even tuning the noise out. You gonna fall for that knock. You gonna get so annoyed that you gonna end up opening the door. Then you gonna let him in. But instead of letting him in, you could do something even better. You can make the choice and say, I'm not gonna let him annoy me. I'm not gonna let him get me out of character. You know what? I'm gonna tune out that noise. I'm gonna put my headphones on and listen to the voice of God. I'm gonna let God talk to me, not the devil. I'm not gonna let the devil persuade me. And one thing I noticed is that our faith is determined by our actions. And it's the truth. We don't have enough faith. We don't believe enough. Yeah, we believe. Trust, we believe, but we don't believe enough. You don't have faith in Jesus enough, and I don't have faith in Jesus enough. That's why we keep making the decisions that we're making. That's why. If you had enough faith, you would believe that Jesus give you the strength every single day to do better and to make the better decisions. But instead, you don't have enough faith. I don't have enough faith. The moment that I make a sinning decision, that shows that I didn't have enough faith in him. And it's not saying that he don't forgive us. Of course he does. But at this point, it's about you making that decision. This is why God gave us free will. This is why he puts us in a position to make choices. He don't force us to do nothing. But once he had a seed planted in your life, it's something that you cannot forget about. Every time I'm somewhere, it don't matter where I'm at, it don't matter what's the environment or whatever. If I'm in a place of sin or I'm about to sin singular or whatever, God will never let me forget that. And I always thank him for that because I pray for that. I always tell God to remind me why I need to be closer to him. And sometimes if that makes me sad or, gets me in my feelings, then so be it. Because we shouldn't forget. We should always know that he is here for us, no matter if the devil try to persuade us. And I got this prayer that I do, I always say, dear God, I ask that no temptation persuade my actions. I ask if it doesn't serve you or me, I ask that you eliminate it out of my life. That's a prayer that I always do because so much temptation out here, so many distractions. And I say this because, man, y'all seeing it, I'm seeing it. Y'all gotta understand we are at war. It's no time to bag down and cry and mope. Get closer to him. He wants you to get closer to him. I want y'all to get closer to him. I'm trying to get closer to him. So don't waste y'all time. Don't. It don't matter if you doing it with a group or if you doing it solo. Know that he loves you. And no matter what, he is always going to be there for you. All right? And that's all I had to say for today. It was laying on my heart ever since a decision I made last night. And ever since I seen what I seen last night. And we got to do better, y'all. I love y'all. Jesus love y'all. And I pray that y'all take something from this video and actually push ourselves, and not even push ourselves, but just ask God for the strength to do better. Peace out.